Alright, in today's video, I'm going for a hike with my mom, but this is going to be really fun because she has a list of questions from fun to serious to would you rather questions about hiking, about the AT, about everything in between. So we're just going to go for a hike together. She's going to ask me the questions and we're going to have a good time.
So as you get ready, I was thinking of asking you a couple questions.
Yep.
What is your go-to hiking snack?
Oh, that's easy. There's Gushers and Cheez-Its.
Cool.
And then I always try to, like, especially when I'm through hiking, I always try to have some sort of chocolate and some sort of candy with me. All really good snacks.
All
and
right.
chips. Chips are always good.
This is important to me. Have you ever gotten lost on a hike?
I don't think I've ever gotten lost, but I have gotten off trail. And I always have my GPS apps on my phone, so I can always pull that up and see exactly where I am in relation to the trail, so I can easily get back on. But not totally lost to the point where I ever got scared.
Nice. And what is the best way to end a long day of hiking?
Oh, for a day hike, McDonald's. Get some chicken nuggets. On a through hike, like a nice warm backpacking meal, like a backpacking lasagna, and like to just chug some cold water straight from like, well, I filter it, but like from the water source, so it's nice and cold. We are doing one of my mom's favorite trails today, which is Weeks Woods. Right there. If you saw my last YouTube video, I asked her to hike this with me, but she was busy, so we're back out this week.
So Taylor.
Hello.
I have a bunch of would you rather questions.
All right, bring it.
Would you rather go right or left here?
I always go that way first.
Oh, and I always go the other way. Let's try and go backwards.
All right.
Would you rather encounter a bear or a snake on the trail?
If it's a rattlesnake, I'd rather see the bear. If it was any other type of snake, I wouldn't care.
Would you rather have a blister on your foot or a sunburn on your shoulders?
I'm gonna say I'd rather have a sunburn on my shoulders just because of how bad the blisters were on my through hike last year. When I got to Vermont, it was miserable. I could barely take a step. I had to take some 0 days. So I feel like I could manage with the sunburn on my shoulder, putting some like Leuko tape on. But yeah, blisters suck.
Yeah. Would you rather hike a steep incline for an hour or a flat trail for 4 hours?
I am a fan of flat trails, actually. So I'd rather have like a nice, easy, flat trail for 4 hours. Unless it's like Franconia Ridge and like the view is absolutely worth it after the steep incline. But yeah, right now, especially like pregnant, flat is best.
All right. All right, I have a couple more questions for you.
All right.
What is your strategy for dealing with bugs and pests, especially on the Appalachian Trail?
So I always had kind of like a little bottle of DEET with me, but that really doesn't do much, and DEET's also not like totally safe, I think. But on the AT, just kind of hike fast, don't take many breaks. I had full meals while walking, just so I can get away from the bugs.
Yeah. Would you rather hike solo in perfect weather or with friends in terrible weather? I know this answer as I fall down.
I love hiking by myself and I love perfect weather, so that's an easy one for me.
Right. One more. Would you rather lose your map or your food supply on a hike?
I would rather lose my map because usually trails are easily marked. Like this one's marked with yellow blazes. I feel like if I didn't have a map, I could still figure out my way back to the car.
Right.
I usually do popular hikes anyways, and it's usually straightforward, but especially on a through hike, like I don't want to be without food, and you just follow the white blazes.
All right. What is your favorite trail you've ever hiked?
Does the Appalachian Trail count?
It sure does.
Let's just go with that.
All right. And how did you prepare for hiking the Appalachian Trail?
I prepared by hiking all of the New Hampshire 4,000 footers. I went on one overnight trip just to test out all my gear, and I watched a ton of YouTube videos, so I had an idea of what the trail life was like, and I downloaded the Gut Hook app so I knew exactly what was on trail, how far away the shelters were, and all those logistics.
All right. What's the most challenging hike you've ever done?
Most challenging hike I've ever done would be the part of the Appalachian Trail in southern Maine, going through the Nahamsha Notch, where every mile takes you over an hour to do.
All right. What's the most beautiful view you've ever seen while hiking?
The most beautiful view I've ever seen hiking is Franconia Ridge, but recently I hiked that during the solar eclipse and saw like an amazing sunset at 3 p.m. and that was really cool and really special.
What's your favorite dance move when you get to the summit of a long hike?
I have a tendency of taking my camera and just doing like a 360 and doing one of these. But on the AT, my favorite dance move was when I would get a cherry Coke at a Trail Magic and I'd drink it and I'd put my hand up and do like a little shimmy.
All right, get some more would you rather questions.
Bring it.
Would you rather hike a trail with no scenery or one with a lot of obstacles?
I don't mind no scenery. I mean, today's hike doesn't really have much, but the obstacles, yeah, going back to Nahamsha Notch, Obstacle City, no thanks.
Would you rather be known as the hiker who always gets lost or the one who always falls in the mud?
I don't mind being clumsy. So I'd rather be known for the hiker that falls in the mud. That's actually what my dog is known for.
Right. Would you rather have to deal with the never-ending mud in Vermont or the rocky parts in Pennsylvania?
I think I'd rather deal with the mud.
Would you rather get caught in a rainstorm in the Smokies or a snowstorm in New Hampshire?
I'd rather get caught in a rainstorm in the Smokies because snowstorms in New Hampshire can get really dangerous.
Right. Would you rather accidentally bring a tent that's too small for you or a sleeping bag with a broken zipper?
Oh gosh. I don't want broken gear. That kind of sounds awful. So I think I'd rather just be in a tent that's too small. I could deal with that.
Would you rather hike with a partner who's constantly singing off key or one who talks non-stop about gear specs?
Well, in 2021, I did do the entire Appalachian Trail with someone who did constantly sing off key, and it wasn't that bad. I just kind of joined in, so I'm gonna go with that one. I don't really care about other people's gear specs, to be honest, so
Yep.
eh.
And would you rather have to dodge low-flying birds or overly affectionate butterflies?
I think I'd rather dodge low-flying birds, because we actually had to do that on the AT in Maine. There were like low-diving hawks at one point, and it wasn't that bad. But I feel like overly affectionate butterflies, like if they kept landing on me, they'd give me like the heebie-jeebies and I'd feel itchy.
Right.
So I actually gave my mom a would you rather question last night, and that was if I should prepare a watermelon refresher or a cucumber refresher for after our hike. And what did you pick?
Watermelon.
So I made that last night, and I made it with the Element recipe that I got on their website, and I had a little bit of it before this hike. It was so good. But for a second, I'm going to talk about Element because they are the sponsor of this video. Element, I actually might have one in my pocket. They are these single-serving electrolyte drink mix packets that you can drink to just stay perfectly hydrated. They have no sugar in them. They taste really good. There's really good flavors. And there's the perfect combination of sodium, potassium, and magnesium to help replenish your electrolytes. So it's actually like, what, 50 degrees? But I honestly feel like I'm sweating a little bit. So I know I'm losing sodium, and I know it's important for me to replace that. So this is my preferred method for hydration. It has been for years at this point. And if you want to pick some up for yourself, you can use my link, which is drinkelement.com/Nahamsha. When you do that, you get a free sample pack of 8 different flavors. So this is citrus salt. We're gonna have a watermelon after this hike, but there's so many other good ones. Again, drinklmnt.com/Nahamsha. And when you're on the website, you can also check out their brand new canned sparkling water because those have been really nice this summer so far.
All right, you ready for some more questions?
I am.
All right. What is your favorite trail town?
Ooh, I love Hot Springs, North Carolina, Franklin, North Carolina, Lincoln, New Hampshire. And then one that actually surprised me on the trail last year was Manchester, Vermont. and you visited me there.
I did. I loved it.
And that was a trail town that I went to that I was like, I have to come back, bring my husband, spend more time here.
How do you stay entertained on solo hikes?
When I'm on a day hike, I really just like no music, just do the hike and just let like my brain go wild. I think about, I don't know, ideas for my business, for YouTube videos, just like life. But when I'm by myself on the AT, I love listening to podcasts and audiobooks. Those keep me entertained.
And what is your trail pet peeves?
Trail pet peeves. When I say hi to another hiker and they don't respond, that I don't understand why that happens. And then also when hikers set up their tents inside the shelters and like take up a lot of space when there's a lot of other hikers around. I'm guilty. I have done it once, I will admit, but I was in Maine and there were 2 shelters next to each other. And I took up a little corner and it was super late. So if another hiker did show up, they would probably go into the other shelter anyways. But I have been in situations where like the shelter's totally crowded and more hikers are coming in constantly and there's tents and no space and it's raining.
Right. And one more on this little trail part. What is the most peaceful moment you've ever experienced on trail?
I think 2 come to mind. There was the beauty spot in either like, I think Tennessee, where like I took a super long break and just like had lunch and looked at the view. I'll try to insert a clip because I'm pretty sure I got one. And then there was another time on the AT in Massachusetts where there was this like really pretty rock lookout that faced the sunset and it was right before a shelter. So I just stayed there, watched the sunset, and then once it went down, went and set up my tent, went to bed.
Cool. Oh, I know this answer. What's the longest distance you've hiked in one day?
That was the 4-state challenge on the AT, and I believe it came out to 45 miles in one day.
Right.
That was a lot.
And when did you start and when did you end?
I started at 3 a.m. and ended at 8 p.m.
Yes, you did.
Mom was there.
And what's your favorite hiking season?
I'm gonna say the fall because there's like no bugs, the temperature is nice, and the leaves start to change. It's pretty.
And how about your scariest moment that you've ever had while hiking?
Oh, I don't know. Do you know that?
Maybe when you hit your head?
Yeah, I did gash my head open for a second. I've never... Oh, the rattlesnake.
Oh.
I was like less than 6 inches away from stepping on that rattlesnake. So I just saw my first rattlesnake. I walked right next to it. And for the whole rest of the day, just like everything looked like a rattlesnake. I was just like scared. It really did shake me up. Yeah. And that was in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. And what's your favorite national park?
The Shenandoah National Park, because I really want to go back. And I honestly haven't really been to many national parks. Mm-hmm. I've been to Shenandoah's, the Smokies, and the Everglades. I think that's it.
Right. We have Arcadia, which is in our backyard, that we should probably hit that on a road trip.
I know. I was thinking Labor Day.
Yeah. All right, we're getting near the end of our hike, and I have some more questions.
Nice.
What's your dream hiking destination?
I would love to hike the Camino in Spain. That's a dream for me. I majored in Spanish. I've actually set foot on the Camino. Before I even knew what thru-hiking was, I was hanging out with a host family when I was living over there, and she was telling me about the Camino, and I don't know, I just would love to go back.
That's awesome. How do you balance hiking with your everyday life?
I just kind of get the hiking in when I can. Right now we're on a hike before work.
Right.
It is 9:02 and we work at 9:30. And then I just hike on my days off and try to stay out and active as much as I can.
Perfect. What's the best hiking tip that you've ever received, and who did you receive it from?
Hiking tip. Something I always go back on for like through hiking is always eat your favorite thing in your pack, because it will always be your favorite thing in your pack.
Oh, nice.
There's a bug in my hair.
Oh no. Is it going?
Yeah.
All right, I have my last 3 would you rather.
All right.
Would you rather have your camp invaded by noisy, fearless mice or be kept awake by the eerie howls of coyotes?
I would rather be kept awake by the coyotes because mice are relentless. And when I hear coyotes in the distance, I'm always just in the mindset, I'm like, they're not going to get me. They're just all doing their own thing.
Right. Would you rather hike a stretch of trail with nothing but uphill climbs or one where you have to cross streams every 10 minutes? I know this answer.
Yeah, I am not crossing streams every 10 minutes. I've had my fair share of that. No more.
Right. And would you rather have a surprise snowstorm in Georgia or a heat wave in Maine?
Actually, a surprise snowstorm in Georgia kind of sounds nice. I'd take that.
Cool.
We made it back to the car.
It's awesome. So I have one last question.
All right, what's that?
What's your next big hiking adventure?
My next big hiking adventure is gonna be learning how to hike with the baby. I'm
Very
gonna
true.
do easy trails like the trail we just did, nice local trails, and then I'm sure eventually I'll throw on my Osprey Poco backpack and go hike a 4,000 footer with them. Oh, we're at the police station. They're gonna think we're drinking. Like I mentioned earlier, I have watermelon refreshers with element in it for after our hike, and I'm gonna pour Mom one.
Mmm.
Taste that.
That's delicious.
Delicious.
I love that you have the watermelon pieces in there as well.
Yeah, so I'll put this recipe on the screen, but it's club soda, cubed watermelon, lime, and mint, and then it was in my fridge overnight, and so I just threw a bunch of ice in it, put it in a pitcher, and brought it this morning.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for helping me with this video.
You got it.
Do you have a question?
They're in my pocket.